Hello and welcome to Creature Features. Now, the last two episodes have been on films that have been quite a bit silly, so how about this time we get nice and serious? The Exorcist is a 1973 film directed by William Friedkin, based on the novel by William Peter Blatty. It is an excellent example of psychological horror with a supernatural angle. Chris MacNeil and her daughter Regan are living temporarily in Washington while she raps on a film, but their stay is unexpectedly extended when, after playing with the Ouija board, Regan begins acting very strangely. The doctors can't figure out what's wrong with her, and things are only getting worse. Chris suspecting she's become possessed. The answer to their problems may lie with the troubled local priest, Father Karras. This film is what you might call a slow burn. It goes along at its own pace, taking time to really focus on the characters and their personalities before hitting home with the supernatural side of things. This is what I tend to find with horror films of this sort of period. They knew that what people want to see in movies is characters you can relate to. We much more care about poor Regan's possession when we know what she was like beforehand, and see exactly how it affects everyone around her. At some points it might verge on being a bit too slow though. It's just over 2 hours long and some stuff probably could have been cut for time, like the whole opening sequence with Father Merrin at the dig site in Iraq. I think it's meant to be giving some idea of what the demon is and where it comes from, but it's really left quite vague and confusing. This probably works better in the book, but for the film it doesn't add much. You could have started right away with Chris and Regan and saved some time, which probably would have made things feel a little tighter. But much as it can drag in a few places, this is still a highly interesting film overall. The performances are really solid. There's Max von Sydow as Father Merrin, who somehow seems to have not aged in the past 44 years. What is your secret, man? Ellen Bernstein gets across all the frustration and fear of the mother seeing her daughter put quite literally through hell, and really makes you scared with her. Jason Miller really captured something with Father Karras, the priest losing faith. He's unsure and hurting over his mother's recent death, and makes you feel for him, especially when he's willing to sacrifice himself to save Regan's soul. But no performance stands out more than Linda Blair as Regan. Most of the terrifying stuff from her comes from the voice of Mercedes McCambridge as Pazuzu, the demon, spilling out countless obscenities from the mouth of a little girl which never stops feeling weird.
You know what she did? Your canting daughter?
But it was Linda Blair there in the room doing all the deeply physical performing which really keeps things nice and creepy. And possession is just a creepy concept, isn't it? A person completely taken over by a force of pure evil that changes their entire personality. But it's more than just a personality change, isn't it? They start to levitate off the ground, their heads rotate, they do things with a crucifix I'd rather not show. It's no wonder it became such a popular trope in film. There's the devil inside, the possession, the exorcism of Emily Rose, the rite, the Atticus Institute, the Last Exorcism Part 2, Exorcismus, Grace, the possession of Michael King, The Exorcist 2, The Exorcist 3, Exorcist, The Beginning, Dominion, a prequel to The Exorcist, and Exorcist, House of Evil, just to name a few. And all of them owe their existence to this movie. I'll be honest, I haven't seen any of the films I just listed, but I've seen the trailers for most, and they all look like the same thing. So it's nice to see a movie where the possession stuff was actually original and interesting. So if you're only going to check out one exorcism film, then you may as well go with the original. That is, of course, if you want to watch a film that might be cursed. There are all sorts of rumours about this film. The book was based on a real exorcism case. The set once caught fire. A lady fell and broke her jaw watching this movie in the cinema. And whilst making the movie, 9 people died. Frightening stuff, eh? But could a movie actually be cursed? No, don't be daft. There's no such thing. The only reason that I'm bringing it up is so that I can pad out the script. I don't feel like there's much else I can say about this one. I realise this makes for a slightly shorter episode than usual, but what can I add about this film? It's one of the most popular horror films of all time, and with good reason. It's still unsettling to this day, even though a few elements might have aged a little poorly, like the pea soup vomit, or the head twisting effect, or this guy randomly calling people Nazis.
Tell me, was it public relations you did for the Gestapo or community relations?
Actually, come to think of it, that last one kind of came back around again, didn't it? So, that's The Exorcist. A seriously influential horror film. It's got great characters, a wonderful atmosphere, and an exceptional legacy. It's one that's worth checking out for sure. So, until next time, this has been Creature Features.
Quod nomen mihi est?
Bonjour.
Quod nomen mihi est?
La plume de ma tante.
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.